Here I am trying to convince you that there's nothing wrong with me for having never been in a relationship, but I don't even know if I've really convinced myself. Sometimes I look in the mirror and I just see the ugliest human being ever. For my entire life, I truly believed that God was hiding me. It felt like he had a Harry Potter invisibility cloak that he just tossed on over me. For a long time, that did bring me comfort. I'm like, okay, God's got my love life in control. He's saving me from heartbreak and trauma and all of that. But then I recently heard a quote from a psychologist that really clicked things into place. And he said, you can have trauma from things that never happened. And I definitely feel like I have trauma from having never been pursued, never desired, seen, asked out, and all of that. I really struggle with self-esteem, self-confidence, how I see myself and my self-worth. I'm happy to say there has been improvement within the last couple of months, but it's definitely been tough.
I don't know if I'm buying what she's saying. Okay, she's not a hideous looking woman. Okay, I mean, hey, there's gonna be somebody out there that's gonna find her attractive. Over 9 billion people in this world, and not one guy has approached you or found you attractive ever. Yeah, I'm not buying that, but let me know what you guys think.
And it definitely all comes in waves, especially loneliness. I'm actually just coming out of a deep, dark, feels like a tsunami kind of wave of loneliness where the future feels hopeless and I feel like I'm forever going to be alone. Here I am trying to convince you that there's nothing wrong with me for having never been in a relationship, but I don't even know if I've really convinced myself. Sometimes I look in the mirror and I just see the ugliest human being ever, and I attribute that to why I've never been desired or pursued by a guy. Personally, the biggest source of my self-esteem is my acne and my skin, which I don't know if you can even see through the camera right now, but in real life, it's there. I've got the scars, I've got the dark spots. I don't even leave my house without foundation, and I know everyone struggles with something, whether it's their nose, whether it's their weight, whatever it is. But I think one thing that God is truly trying to teach me is that no man on earth will love me and love you as much as God can. And so I'm kind of in a space where I'm just leaning into him, allowing him to reveal who I am. And if you're not Christian, I just want you to know that you are a beloved child of God. He loves you. He created you with a purpose. You are a masterpiece of his creation. Like, look at the sunset, look at the mountains. You're actually more valuable and beautiful than all of that. And again, these are words that I'm saying out loud. I know it's head knowledge, and I'm just trying to bring it to heart knowledge at this point in my life.
Yeah, so her argument is that she has low self-esteem to the point where no one is even approaching her, okay? Unless your head's down and you're kind of moping around, somebody's gonna make an attempt to approach you and then determine that you have low self-esteem, okay? Unless it's just written all over your face that you have low self-esteem, somebody's going to make an attempt to figure out who you are and what you're about. In my opinion here, something is off. And I remember doing a video about her, I want to say a couple months ago, where she was at a party with a friend.
I did go to this event with a friend, and she actually had her eye on one guy. One brave soldier decided to come and talk to us as a group. We all had like a good conversation. He was a very nice guy who was making eye contact and equally talking to all of us. After, my friend was like, yeah, I really like him. I'd love to get his number. And I was like, amazing. Let's make it happen somehow. I decided to be a good wing woman, and then I went to I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom, and allowed them to talk for a bit. Being a great wing woman. I come back out and we just continue the conversation. He's making eye contact with both of us. At the end, he's like, yeah, I'd love to like get your numbers and like stay in touch. And then he gave his phone to my friend, who by the way is stunning. And then he took his phone and put it back and did not give it to me. And again, I know I should be so happy. Like, I was not interested in this guy at all. The main goal was for my friend to get his number, and that did happen. But the fact that he did not ask me and immediately put his phone away literally sent me into a spiral as soon as I got home.
So yeah, there could be some trauma here or something about her personality that we don't necessarily know about, or maybe we will learn about it as she continues the video. But let me know what you guys think.
Like I mentioned, I grew up in Toronto, well, the outskirts of Toronto, in a little suburb. And it never felt like home, which is why I never really was intentional about dating there, because I'm like, I don't want to date a Toronto man. I don't even want to live here. But then when I came to my dream city of Los Angeles and decided to be more quote unquote intentional with dating, I found myself struggling. Again, a side effect of that low self-esteem is that I cannot even make eye contact with men. I see a cute guy, I'm immediately like eyes to the floor. And I'm learning that like guys need girls to drop the handkerchief handkerchief. I still don't know how to say that word, because they too are afraid of rejection. My friends have even pointed out that when we're in group conversations and a cute guy comes in, I kind of turn into that Homer Simpson meme where I'm like disappearing into the bushes. I become a shell of a human being. I'm not my normal like outgoing and bubbly and funny self. And one thing I learned through the mindset coach that I'm seeing is that it comes from a limiting belief that I'm ugly and I am unworthy.
Okay, so basically her head is down and she's not approachable. Okay, that's basically what's happening here. And it's like, what have you been doing for the past 10 plus years? Okay, I'm just saying.
To talk to a cute guy. Yeah. Again, I told you, trauma from things that didn't happen. Trauma from never having been in a relationship. The hardest thing has definitely been that I am for sure a hopeful romantic. I know normal people say the word hopeless romantic, but I'm hopeful that God is writing the best love story and he's gonna make my meet cute better than any rom-com out there. But yeah, I devour rom-coms. I love them. I live for them. I'm such a sucker for them. And so my entire life, I was kind of expecting this moment of a guy will just see me, come up to me and be like, you're the most beautiful girl on earth, and then ask me out. And of course, that's never happened. So when I moved to LA, a big wake-up call was the lack of effort that I had put in my dating life for the past 30 years. In every other aspect of my life, with friends, with my work, I always knew I had to put in effort. And I did all that I could to make those dreams a reality. For instance, I really wanted Christian friends growing up and never had any around me like at school or at work. And I really was expecting them to kind of just show up on my door until God's like, you need to seek them out. And so I did a Google search. I found like a young adult non-denominational Christian group, started attending that, and now I have like amazing Christian friends in my life. With my career, I always knew I wanted to be a full-time content creator and put out videos for 6 years until it finally happened. And yet with dating, I kind of expected to just sit back, live my life, and he would show up. Prince Charming would just show up at my door, or even just, again, spot me from a distance and ride up to me on a horse. And so I read this book called How to Get a Date Worth Keeping by Dr. Henry Cloud, who's a Christian psychologist. And he has this dating challenge where he's like, your goal is to meet 5 new guys a week. You just need to talk to 5 guys, and it doesn't have to be in like a romantic sense. It could be someone who is in line at a coffee shop, at a grocery store, like just start a conversation. And so I'm like, okay, I could do this. It's a challenge. I can put in the effort like I have in other areas of my life. Easy. Except I would go out into public and try to talk to guys and would just fail. I would just turn into that shell of a human being, and it just felt like this crazy spiral that honestly went on for months. But now I'm back at a place where I'm honestly living my life, working on becoming a better version of myself and healing and trusting that God's going to make it happen in his perfect timing. I actually had an experience recently that kind of reminded me that I am quite possibly on the right track. I was walking in Santa Monica on my way to Sephora, and I was at a red light. Then all of a sudden I hear a voice from beside me, and this dude is just like, hey, do you know where this taco place is? And I turn and I'm like, no, sorry, I'm not from this neighborhood. And then the light turns green and I start walking, but he continues to walk beside me. And then he starts a conversation, tells me things about his life, that he's a politician, that he just moved to this neighborhood also 3 months ago, asked me questions about my life, and then eventually asked for my number. And I gave it to him. I honestly was not fully attracted to this guy, but that was honestly the first time I feel like I've ever been approached in public by a stranger like that. And again, I didn't put in the effort. Like, I didn't even know he was standing beside me until he spoke. I didn't have to like make eye contact or smile or do all the things that the books were telling me. And so I feel like that was a situation that God sent to remind me that it's not all on me.
So God sent you the man that you were looking for, right? You didn't even have to put in any work. According to you, you didn't have to smile. You didn't have to do the things in the book. God gave you a man. And it seems like he was a successful man, or, you know, a man in politics. I'm assuming he has a little bit of change. He's new to the area, pretty much in the same boat as you, where he doesn't really know much people. He's trying to get to know people. He's trying to get to know and, you know, possibly take you out on a date. The very thing that you were complaining about earlier on in this video. And you got what you wanted. And the first thing that you said was you weren't attracted to him. Okay, beggars cannot be choosers, okay? Yeah, just be grateful.
I mean, he did turn out to be like kind of a weirdo. Lots of red flags when it came to texting him, and I never ended up actually going on a date with him. Again, it was a huge learning lesson and a moment for God to be like, girl, I got you. And so that's currently where I'm at in terms of my dating life. I'm not sitting at home and doing nothing. I've been taking tennis lessons. I'm doing improv classes. I'm going to like all the events and stuff like that. But I've taken off the pressure of trying to make it happen myself and taken off the pressure of putting it all on me and my effort and my eye contact and all of that. And I know so many people have different opinions about this. I also, by the way, do not feel comfortable on dating apps. So no, I'm not on that. I did get it for like 3 days. Felt so icky, and I'm very much a person who's like, if there's no peace in it, I don't want it. So I don't feel like dating apps are for me. And I'm not going to say never. Maybe, some desperate moment will force me back on those apps. But for now, I'm off it. I'm just living my life, keeping busy with things like this podcast and bringing you guys along for the journey. So thanks again for listening. Thank you for making this a safe space where I can share my journey and my experience. And a reminder to the girl who's never had a boyfriend before that you are not alone.
All right, guys, so let me know what you think about this one in the comment section, okay? This type of mentality, good luck to you. Okay, good luck to you. Okay, 31 years old, and it seems like she has options in regards to guys are approaching her out in public, and she's here being picky, but at the same time, she's talking about that she's never been in a relationship. So it seems like although she has the insecurities, as she mentioned, there's guys out there that are finding her attractive. Okay, there's guys out there that are actually going up to her and striking up a conversation. Okay, it just seems like she's being picky here to the point where she's pretty much turning all of these guys away. Okay, so that could very well be the reason why she's never been in a relationship. I truly think that she's simply turning these guys away because they don't fit the narrative of a fantasy in her head. But let me know what you guys think. Give me some feedback, and until next time.